Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Strv M42-57 Alt A2. That's a tier 6 Swedish premium medium tank. It's an autoloader. It's located on the north spawn of Prokhorovka and it's under the command of ProvoBob. Yes, he sent me a couple of replays in a row. Well, what can I tell you about this tank? It's basically a Strv M42 with a AMX 13 75-ton turret, a 5 turret, with the 75mm gun, which is capable of doing a 150 alpha penetrating 148mm with standard ammo. With premium, that goes up to 190. So it's got a 4-shot autoloader with decent pen and fast fire rate as well. 2 seconds between each shot. And by the book it's 15.66 seconds for the full mag, and I think that ProvoBob's managed to get that down to slightly less. He's not using premium consumables, but I think he does have a good crew, and he's already got a shot on an AMD 178B. Now, what happened is that Sweden manufactured 287 Strv M42s during the war period. They weren't actually in the war, they were a neutral country, but they manufactured these tanks anyway, and they were outdated by the end of the war. And during the 50s, 1953 in particular, he's got his first kill, Super Hellcat, but he was seen, so he has to pull back quick, otherwise he's going to become the next victim. Okay, that was good. They were phasing out these 287 Strv M42s in 1953, and they needed some replacement to bring in. And so one of the projects they started was the project that actually led eventually to the Strv 74, but the Strv 4257 was one of the proposals they put up, which was to put an AMX 13 5 turret on top of a M42 that had been reworked, new engine and basically a new turret, and it would actually give them a high velocity gun, because the original Strv M42s were low velocity guns, so they didn't really have the pen that this thing has. And so basically it was to save Sweden a lot of money. They decided they'd rework these M42s, and it was a good proposal in a sense, because the M42 is quite a good tank as such, or was, but it was just outclassed by the end of the war, with so many new tanks coming in, especially with the Soviet tanks being so much better. And so whilst they were working on other projects, they came up with this one, and unfortunately it just wasn't accepted, so that's why it never got put into production. Here's an example of the fast burst damage. Oh, that one went over the engine bay, but that one went into the turret, so he got a nice bit of damage off that KB2. Oh, and the T150 just clobbered him. Now that enemy T150 fired around him, probably hit the tracks rather than the body, but it just didn't bend. So he was lucky there, he got away with saving himself some more damage. Okay, can't get a shot on that VK3601H in the centre. So his teammates have decided to go south, and he's going to join them. Now, one of the good things about this is the fast reload, and the fact that this tank does actually make a good... It's a small target, but it's rather a tall target. But the problem with this tank, and the bad thing really, I suppose you might say, is the speed. Yeah, it's not particularly fast, this tank. Top speed only 45 kilometers an hour, reverse speed 20. There's that T150. The other side of the ridgeline, so he's not going to get shots on him unless he moves south. Nope, he's gone. There's only 4 enemies left, and I think they're all up on the hill. One of the good things about this tank is that it's got a very accurate gun. As I say, fast reload, good burst damage, 4 shots, 2 seconds intra clip is not bad. Could be faster, but it's not bad. But the bad thing about this tank is basically it's a pre-war tank, or a tank that was designed before the war, and it's got very thin armour. It's only 55mm at the front of the hull, 30 on the sides, 20 at the rear, 40 on the front of the turret, 20 on the sides, 20 on the rear, so it's very light on armour. There's the T-34-100, and there's the Comet. Oh, lucky there, because I think that T-34-100 could have done a lot of damage to us, and we need to get into behind that bank. Now, one of the bad things about this tank is it does have fairly poor gun depression, 6 degrees, so when you come up to a bank like this, you need to avoid the banked part and just try and use your turret on the enemy. And oh, took a round from the Comet. Can he get the shot in, the kill? Well, he got him. And he accidentally took a round from a Wizzy 131 GFT in the process. T29 is the other side of that hill. Okay, he's loaded another mag and he's off running again. Oh, and there's the last enemy killed. It was a reduced numbers game and it's all over, so it is a victory. And here's the end of battle results, and it was the third class tank of a ProvoBob in the Strv M42-57 Alt A2. He managed to get a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, and he got a Leather Slayer's medal because he took down 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers with a medium tank in the battle, and they had to be at least 1 tier higher than him. And he took down the Super Hellcat, which was tier 7, and the Comet as well, which is also tier 7. So that earned him the Leather Slayers. His win rate from the game was 2,132, which is very good. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the T29 on the enemy team, 1,973, but it wasn't enough to get a high caliber. The next high scorer was the VK4503 on his own team, who managed to get a Spartan and a Steel Wall and 1,620 hit points of damage, followed by the AMX M445 with 1,593. You can see that ProvoBob only managed to get 1,046 out of that game, so it's mediocre, you might say. When it came to kills, he was actually in joint second place because the AMX M445 got 3 kills. That puts him top of the table. 2 kills went to the Wizzy 131 GFT, to ProvoBob, and also to the Firefly 5C. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, he's top of the table with 796. 769 went to the Firefly and 733 went to the AMX M445. He fired 13 rounds in that game, got 8 direct hits and 8 penetrations. Very good accuracy, you might say. Well, a good pen on the shells anyway. I suppose that's the one thing you would say with these shells, is that what they touch they tend to do damage to, because it's a very high velocity shell. Well, sort of, 925 meters per second. 1,046 hit points of damage, of which 782 were at more than 300 meters. It's mostly a long-range engagement in this one. 3 hits received, only 2 penetrated, 1 non-penetration, and he damaged 4 of the enemy, killed 2, and did 976 hit points of damage assistance. I think that may have been spotting assist. The shells he actually that hit him, one came from the Comet, as you know, as you saw, and in fact, actually, I think 2 came from the Comet, and that's why he lost a few hit points, but he did get the kill on that Comet. 38,007 credits on a premium account, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 11,178 credits. 1,194 XP times 2 for the first victory, 358 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 2,746 experience points altogether. So the Strv M42-57, well, the gun depression kind of lets it down. It is an oscillating turret. You'd expect it to have a much better gun depression than it actually does have in the game. But I think actually it does stand very tall and upright. It's fairly fast-ish. It's good at relocating, and it's a difficult target to hit. I remember when these things first came out in the game many years back, that a lot of people who bought one found that they could actually get off 4 hits onto the enemy, or multiple hits onto the enemy, and relocate before the enemy could dial in on them, because they're very narrow but very tall. But the thing is, what's good about this tank is the gun. It really is, and the fact that it's an auto-loader at tier 6, much like in many ways like the Skoda T25. So you can do some nice damage to the enemy. Plus, of course, it's a medium tank and a premium, which means you can train crews in it. So it's very handy if you do have a Swedish mediums for training purposes. But it's a difficult tank to handle, really, and I think a lot of people don't like the fact that it's so slow, but they do like the guns. So it's a bit of a standoff medium, because it's just too slow to be a flanking medium. It's more of one sit at the back and shoot at the enemy very accurately, and that's exactly what ProvoBob did in this game. I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below to feed the algorithm. And thank you for watching.